Yes, it's Labor Day, it is May Day, it's Workers' Day here in Nigeria, and we'll get into all of the activities just as soon as they kick off. And the big issues also on the minds of workers and government. But there are issues that are also on the front burner and that sometimes you don't get to hear about, particularly after the cameras leave, when there are attacks in areas, once the government and cameras leave. What happens to the people who are left behind, the people who have to pick up their lives? Again, we can talk about Benue, we can talk about Plateau, talk about Borno, and other parts of the country where there is an obvious humanitarian issue, particularly for people who still lack basic amenities as a result of attacks and, sad events in their areas. We're joined on the program by the Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. Mr. Yusuf Sununu joins us from our Abuja studio. It's good to have you on the program, Minister. And just before we get into the state of, humanitarian affairs, if I could say that, for people in rural areas, rural Nigerians, I want you to speak to Nigerian workers this morning, because there's also poverty reduction in your brief. And for the average worker, as they commemorate, I wouldn't say celebrate now, as a commemorate Workers' Day, they look at their own humanitarian situation and they wonder, are we really getting better? So maybe from your own dashboard, you can speak to what government is doing and how effective it has been to improve the humanitarian situation of Nigerian workers.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Kawede, and once more let me welcome you back from the Global Disability Summit you are attending, and the other panelists. I also want to say good morning to all. And good morning, Nigeria. To Nigerian workers, I want to congratulate everybody for reaching this milestone of 1st May, the Workers' Day. And in fact, it's a day that we should commemorate the resilience of Nigerian workers in giving to the nation the best they can do in their own part so that this country remain united. They are the custodian of institutional memory of this country, and they are also the ones that execute the projects and programs of government through their concerted effort. And in doing that, a lot of them also, in one way or the other, pay this sacrifice of even losing their life in order to serve this country. Because as Nigerians, we must also be proud that despite challenges and numerous issues from here, both man-made and natural, the country is united and is also focused toward this. And for the president also, is the political will to and actions that is being done to move the country forward and remain united is also something that we have to commend Mr. President for doing that. Generally, let us say that if you look at globally, there are a lot of issues that has to do with the economy, which has broken virtually in most places. And it's understandable because of the situation of the global impact of post-COVID-19, the ongoing war in different parts of the world, including Ukraine and Russia, Ukraine, and also if you come down to Africa, we have a lot of man-made crises like the global, like the climate change, which has really affected prediction of whatever one can do, even the aspect of human endeavor that the civil service allowed the farming. As of today, because of climate change, you cannot predict when rain will fall, how long it will last, and even if it falls, it goes to say that sometimes a very short rain is a short period of rain can precipitate a massive flooding that will leave so many Nigerians displaced. And coupled to that also, a lot of issues, and in that case, there's also ongoing reforms to set better the economy that is broken. And in doing that, definitely it's obvious that some pains will be inflicted, and what is needed is how much we understand and how short that reforms Mr. President pursuing can be achieved, and definitely the kind of the way things are going, it won't last long. That we get it better, and Nigeria will come out much stronger.
Well, Dr. Sununu, there's a lot to talk about, your pedigree as a medical doctor. So there's also the issues around, the welfare in that sector with JAGBA and all of that. But Jeffrey Bukola.
Yes, indeed. Quite a lot to talk about as far as, supplies are concerned, the welfare, the ideal nature of some of these internally displaced persons camps across the country. I wonder if we're ready to check on the May Day celebrations, if they have commenced in the federal capital. But it's not ready, as I'm told. So let's go straight to the conversation this morning. I want you to give us a sense of, the numbers and the those registered of internally displaced persons across Nigeria's north, to be precise. And we know, particularly from the recent violence in Plateau State, that there are quite a number put up in a particular Catholic church. In Benue State also, there is a very big humanitarian situation in that state as well. So has your ministry taken an inventory of the numbers of IDPs in Plateau, in Benue, and even in the federal capital, where the presidential candidate of the Labour Party visited recently, and what your ministry is doing to ensure the comfort of these IDPs and, in fact, their productivity while they put up in those transit camps?
Well, thank you very much. Let me just say that we have taken a lot of inventories. Nationally, as of today, we all agree, and it's almost nearly 3 million Nigerians are internally displaced. And that is a very huge figure. It's almost saying that a state is displaced. While we are doing that, we are also taking into cognizance effort to see how much we can reach out to internally displaced person with the view to see how much relief can we give it to them in terms of short-term response, and also in terms of our long-term response. We have started working, and we have gone far to see how much can we give them a durable solution that will be able to sustain them this. Like you have mentioned, of some areas you have mentioned, we are physically there. I was out of the country, but the minister was in Plateau State, and he has seen how much negative impact the crisis has caused. And a lot is being done, and in collaboration with the ministry and NEMA, and also the National Commission for National Commission for Refugee Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons. We have much support we have given, and that has also been started already. But it's an ongoing project, and also not only that, some of our development partners, like UNCHR, we are also working together to see how much we can do. And in fact, by tomorrow, we are going to have a holistic review meeting of all the humanitarian challenges, most especially now that there is a little bit of escalation. How much can we do, and how much can you also, those who are outside the country that has demanded to come back, to repatriate them back to Nigeria. This meeting is coming up tomorrow. We are inviting some of the state government that were involved, states that are involved in this current so that together we can review the situation and see what next action can we do to reinforce what is ongoing right now.
There's a present hour need in those camps. I just want you to confirm if there has been intervention in form of supplies, sanitary conditions of these people in these camps. I want to confirm if the ministry has provided intervention through the emergency management agencies in these states.
You see, the National Emergency NEMA is not a parastatal of our ministry as of today, but we have a very good working relationship and close contact with them. at any time there is a communication that is initiated whenever there is this, so that the emergency aspect of it, which is the core mandate of NEMA, we also support it, and then we work together to see how much we can deliver a relief. And I said, on our own part, the ministry, the minister was physically present, and he delivers relief items. And I think it's also aired in many media that people have seen. What next is when after the situation has improved, how much now the National Commission for Migrant, Refugee and Migrant and Internally Displaced Person can now come in to see how do you continue to further the post-immediate demand and also the long-term sustainable or durable solution that we are going to develop. But I want to confirm to you that not only that items were delivered, but Minister was physically there on 2 occasions.
Honorable Minister, let's zoom into Benue State yet again and talk about, I'm sure you visited, or the other minister has also visited Benue to know the extent of humanitarian crisis we're dealing with. Maybe you can help us and Nigerians understand what exactly we have on our hands in that sense. We've even had a situation where we interviewed one of the persons whose parents were still in the IDP camps, who said, even with the presence of security agencies, they are being attacked. So 2 things I want you to speak to. First, what are we dealing with? What's the scale of the humanitarian crisis we're dealing with in Benue State as of today? Second, what is the government doing to make sure that they're already out of their homes, they're also protected to the best of their ability, to the best of the military ability, to the extent that the military can protect them, where in IDP camps they can be safe and not still be vulnerable while still in IDP camp where they should be protected?
Well, what I want to say is that you must know that this kind of approach, when an emergency comes, is a multi-sectoral nature in addressing it. And this involves both security and non-security actors in the field of emergency, so that how much we can do. For the security aspect, I am sure that a lot has been done, but because I'm not in charge of the ministry, and also security issues are something that one cannot really come out to discuss what security measures is being put in place so that the miscreant cannot use it to develop an antidote to it, so that they can also continue to perpetrate their notorious act of intimidating people, displacing them, and even causing loss of life. That I cannot say, I cannot discuss it in the open. But let me say that what we have currently is the statement by the President that given all the security agencies to mobilize and set into action to restore normality in those areas. And you can believe with me, and you have seen it. Now, Mr. President conveyed a most sectoral approach meeting of all the security agencies, all the chief service chiefs, national security advisor, and all those stakeholders that are relevant in restoring and maintaining and sustaining security of our nations, and also in those areas that are involved were made, and a lot of mobilization has been made to ensure that peace and normalcy is restored. And while also that peace and normalcy is being restored by security agents, on our own part, the non-security actors, we are also working, both the ministry, its agencies, and local organizations, and also in a strong collaboration with state government. We are working together to see how much relief can we do as much as possible to ensure that they are resettled, right. And then where the security situation has improved, permit to be moved back, and so that they can settle back permanently into their destination, and action to maintain them in peaceful conditions is done. So
would like to pause for a moment.
Not only a ministry.
Pardon me, Dr. Sununu, we would like to pause for a moment. We'll get back to this conversation, but you know it's Workers' Day, it's May Day here in Nigeria, and there's a lot of activity going on. So we'd like to head over to Eagle Square, where our correspondent, Empress Simon, is live covering the activities marking this year's May Day celebration. Good morning, Emperor. You're live at Eagle Square. Speak to us. What is the atmosphere like? What are the expectations for the day, which is a big one for workers?
All right, thank you very much, Kayode, and welcome to Abuja, the city of power in Nigeria. Now, this is where Nigerian workers are expected to converge, today to celebrate the May Day. The question, however, is whether they are celebrating with excitement or they are celebrating with a sad face. However, looking at the situation here, we have, the chairs are yet to be occupied. They are still visibly empty, with only a handful of workers that have arrived at this time. And then we see security personnel that are here and carrying out checks to ensure that there is no breach of security at this place. The workers, of course, will be celebrating the day with fanfare in a way, march past, display of colorful attires that showcase the various ministries, the various vocation of the workers. And so in a moment, maybe perhaps 9, 10, we expect that this place will be full. But at this time, you can see the camera will just quickly show you workers that are trying to clean up the chairs. Those are the chairs that will be used by the dignitaries expected at this place. So the venue, the Eagle Square, is still being set up at this time, and we're here to monitor every bit of what will happen.
All right, bro, thank you for your reporting. We'll touch base with you as soon as there's some level of activities happening right there at the Eagle Square. Let's get back to the conversation with the Honorable Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Mr. Yusuf Sununu. Honorable Minister, thank you for staying with us. So as we begin to wind down, let's talk about the poverty reduction element. We can begin to play with the numbers at different years in Nigeria as to the level of poverty. So when the president called both of you and said, look, this is the ministry I want you to handle for us, and this is your brief as to how you can handle this to reposition the fortune of the people besides responding to humanitarian crisis. What is the ministry doing in terms of poverty reduction? I know you say it's an interagency movement, interagency relations that can be used to execute some of these plans of government. But we hardly speak about the poverty reduction element of your ministry. Maybe it's a good time to walk us through what is being done so far so we can appreciate what the government is doing.
Okay. In our own ministry, when we are started with that responsibility, what we did first is to take stock of both asset and liability of the ministry in terms of human personnel resource, in terms of material, and also in terms of how much can we galvanize the ministry to change the narratives in terms of getting back the trust of Nigerians to believe in the ministry, and also of the international community to also see the ministry in a better light now, that can be trusted as a partner that can move the reduction of poverty of Mr. President, which is one of the key components of the 8-point agenda forward. And in doing that, we have found a lot of issues where there were a lot of policies that are there, but there are some misconceptions or in terms of execution, shortcomings that need to be corrected. And we begin by working hard to ensure that we got the trust of our development partners, and for Nigerians, we quite believe that their trust is something that will go not immediate until they have seen what we have delivered and what we have achieved in terms of making it better for the life of average Nigerian. And then going forward also, we realize that there is uncoordinated approach in terms of doing things between national and subnational level. And we have to call a round table of all humanitarian actors within the country, and we sat down, we look at the issues, and we subject those issues to some committees that will further go and develop it, to disintegrate it into various components of the country, so that we know in which area, in this area, what are the components causing poverty, and in the other area, what are the components causing poverty, so that we can have a holistic approach of all the issue in terms of this thing. And then with that, we also concluded that in the next few days to come, we are going to have a national humanitarian and poverty reduction summit here in Abuja, so that we can also further galvanize support and develop a document that all of us can work and adopt it together as a working document that has been developed, not at a federal level, but a national one that emanated from the lowest level of governments to the federal level. And also in doing that, once we do that, we also subject that to National Council of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction in the country, which has never held before. And lack of that council has really brought an issue that the country cannot go in a pattern of a better collaboration and partnership. Now, in terms of reducing the reaching out to people, we'll also review our short-term and long-term measures. The short-term measures is the ongoing rapid cash transfer, response cash transfer, the conditional cash transfer that is ongoing. We review where we are and what are the shortcomings. And the shortcomings there, the data there was that there is no evidence of digital identity that you can use to verify those households that you have reached out to. So in order to do that, we quickly swing into action. And I want to tell you that as of today, a lot has been achieved. And then we realized that at that time, only 1.4 million Nigerians who are in the National Social Register that has been reached out by their with rapid conditional cash transfer. And therefore, based on the fact that we have swung into action, we have gotten more people with digital identity. And as of today, I'm able to say that since we got in the last few weeks we came, months that will come, we have reached almost 5,658,000 Nigerians who are in the National Register that are vulnerables. And as of today also, the conditional cash continues pari passu with the ongoing updating the National Social Register and And then we have also gone ahead to develop a durable solution for the youth that we are coming 5th of May. We are going to commence nationwide training. And we are choosing 3 areas: the renewable energy, automobile, and agriculture. And we have zoned this country in 6 geopolitical zones. The inaugural edition will be done in Lagos, which
we hope. We hope that, well, next we have you, will be able to, record some progress. I believe the target is 25 million Nigerians that is to be targeted with the conditional transfer scheme. But speaking of assets taking, Honorable Minister, the former Federal Commissioner for the National Commission for Refugee, Migrants and Displaced Persons, after FEC some 2 years ago, had briefed the press and talked about the construction of resettlement cities, which is said at that time was at 70% completion stage, to be built in Kano, Katsina, Borno, Zamfara, and Nasarawa, and I believe in Edo State. I'd like you to brief us on what the state of construction of these resettlement cities is at, and what was budgeted for the construction of these resettlement cities, and what is the plan really, to get internally displaced persons to resettle in these resettlement cities in the absence of their inability of government to resettle them in their ancestral land?
Well, the program is ongoing, and I'm about to say that also it's part of the meeting we are going to have tomorrow. And for us, we have repatriated even the refugees from the Chad Republic in Borno to Borno State, and a lot of them are those that have repatriated are being hosted by the in their various areas, and most of them in those houses that were constructed. So also we are going into other states that we are going to do that. So in our meeting tomorrow, we are going to look at the issue of this. Though we know that there is a funding internally, and also we are looking, most of our partners' support also has really gone down because of issue of the in your introduction, you have mentioned the donor fatigue and also, most importantly, the statement by the American government that funding to all those supportive organizations is likely to reduce drastically. So we look at that, and for us, we also look at domestically, how much can we raise, and then to also seek for a special intervention, which we are also going to discuss that tomorrow from Mr. President, so that those houses will be completed. But meanwhile, we have to know that also in various states are also doing their own part. So it's a collective effort, and that's why I mentioned the current approach there is to hasten and improve collaboration and trust between us and the subnational level, so that we can work together to ensure that the internally displaced person has reason to listen.
Right.
And this is also very good. If you look at how much we've been doing between internally displaced person, state, and listen. And this is also where we said that in doing that, there is nothing that has to do with personal nature of the state. Let me, for instance, I was in Plateau State. Yeah.
Yeah, quite a number of issues that you have raised, and I know that there's a job of work for you to do, but in a few seconds, the World Bank has projected that 56% of Nigerians will be in poverty by 2027. That's a rise from the 47% that will be below poverty line in 2023. Do you agree with this World Bank projection that 57% Nigerians will be in poverty by the time it is time for a re-election for President Tinubu?
You see, predictions are quite different from reality. Prediction for us is to serve as a wake-up call, to see how much government can do to abate the realization of what was predicted. So, and in doing that, Mr. President is conscious that definitely there is need for more effort to be put in terms of savings, dignity, and prosperity of Nigerians. And you find that really the current approach in the country is not one solo approach.
I know, Dr. Sununu. My question is, do you agree with that projection? If you don't, what is your projection? Because we're totally out of time. We just want to put that out there.
You see, I said prediction. You understand? Okay. If you remember, when I was in the House of Representatives, I was here, and we have discussed about the prediction of World Health Organization in terms of mortality that will be seen in the Nigeria, most especially as a result of COVID.
Right.
And I was able to say that that is a prediction. Let's see how much the country can work. And in the end, we now say that our work has it stopped the prediction to see it to become reality. And you believe, you'll say also again, to tell you that the prediction was just a prediction.
All right.
And the extent of the mortality that was predicted, we haven't witnessed that before.
Well, Dr. Sununu, we have to wrap up now.
Nigerian government has worked hard.
Yeah, we have to wrap up now.
So we also work hard to ensure that the prediction did not see the light of the day.
So you disagree with the prediction?
I'm saying we work hard to ensure that the prediction did not see the light of the day.
So what is your target? What is your target,
COVID,
Dr. Sununu? What is your target? If it's not 56%, what's the target?
To uplift Nigerian prosperity.
All right.
And stand by our party, listen that 100 million Nigerians will be lifted out of poverty by 2030.
The Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Dr. Yusuf Sununu, thank you for your time. We look forward to 2027 and what that year will hold for Nigeria. Thank you for your time once again.
Thank you very much. And once more,
well, we'll take a quick break now. When we return, we'll get back to the May Day commemoration in a moment. And we have one of the former heads of labor unions in Nigeria joining us in a moment. Stay with us.